Hey guys, on today's episode of Adventure Tread, we're going to try an interesting experiment. I'm going to try to follow my wife as she rides and maintain a zone 2 heart rate while I do it. So we'll see what happens. All right, so I am following my wife. We are prepping for a ride that we have on Sunday. Today's Friday. And I'm going to attempt to see if I can stay in zone 2 while I follow her. So we'll see how it goes. So I just kind of completed my warm up. I'm now in zone 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my throttle. So I've got my gear geared up just a little bit higher than I can ride comfortably. So if I take kind of a slow pace here, you'll see that it'll stay about midway in the zone. Okay, I fell out, let's see. All right, it's just on the hairy edge there. All right, so now I'm kind of back up in zone 2. So I'm in 10th gear, pedal assist 1. So this is as high a gear as I can do. The only thing I can do higher than this is actually ride faster. So I don't have that option because I'm following. I'll use the throttle to make up the difference. So like she's pulling away, I'll use a little throttle. My heart rate will come down. And then I'll start pedaling again when I'm kind of below the halfway point. So I'm up into zone 3. So let me use a little bit of throttle here, get out of zone 3 back into zone 2. My understanding is the ideal training for when you're zone training is to stay in zone 2. So really what you want to do is you don't want to keep blipping in and out of zone 2. You basically want to steady state, stay in that zone. You can absolutely do that if you're just riding on your own, just by changing your pedaling. But if you're on a group ride or anything like that, or you want to maintain a certain speed, I'm trying to come up with a way that I can do that and still participate in the group. All right, so I'm putting in a decent amount of force here. All right, good. Back up into zone 2. So zone 2 should be a level of, I guess, strenuousness that I can maintain all day, and it pretty much feels like it. All right, so now I'm putting in a lot of effort going up this hill, so you should see my heart rate spiking up a little bit there. At the end of this ride, I do plan to go into zone 3 and zone 4 and even zone 5 for just a few seconds. I'm also trying to improve my VO2 max, and that'll happen just by zone 2 training, but my zone 2 training is really designed to lose weight primarily, and the zone 3, 4, and 5 training is really about increasing VO2 max, which is a good indicator of just overall health. You can see I drop out of zone 2 from time to time, but I'm back in it pretty quickly, and if I bump up too high, I can use my throttle to get me back down pretty quickly. All right, here we go. So, you know, it's hard to reach perfection when you're following somebody, but you can see it can be done. Now, if I target zone 2, it will give you constant feedback on where you are relative to that zone. And I guess that might be a better place to ride in. So you can see it's telling me I'm too high, slow down, or put your effort lower. What's interesting is there's this thing called the breath test that you can do. And so I'm talking to you, and I should be able to talk to you pretty easily in zone 2. It's not without effort, but it's, you know, I could maintain a conversation all day long, and that is zone 2. And it's very interesting when you go up to zone 3 and 4, you'll find it's very hard to maintain a conversation. So I don't know if it's possible to spend 100% of your time in zone 2 as far as this training, but if you could get upwards of, I would say, 90%, That's perfect enough. The idea is that you don't want to be constantly going, you know, way high or way low on either side. You really want to stay in that zone. You see the gear I'm in though is just a little more than I can do, which is helps me to raise it by pedaling, and then as I take my foot off the pedals and don't apply as much energy, you can see that my heart rate goes down. But it's kind of cool to just see what your heart's doing relative to a screen. Pretty neat. But I think the throttle is an easier mechanism to, if you're too high, than to try to downshift or to increase your pedal assist. What I learned from trying to stay in zone 2 while following another rider. I'm still new to heart rate zone training, but this ride taught me a lot. The biggest risk when using an e-bike for fitness is that it can be too easy. Before I started zone training, I was mostly looking at workout time and calories burned on my Apple Watch. Zone training takes that a step further. It helps me see whether I'm working too little, too much, or right where I want to be. For this type of training, a chest heart rate monitor works better than a watch. A watch uses an optical sensor which can lag during quick changes in effort. A simple Bluetooth chest strap updates faster and gives me a more responsive reading. The one I am wearing is an inexpensive waterproof chest strap like the one EBRA provides when you join their organization. It is generic and non-branded, but works well. The app I am using is free and designed specifically for e-bike riders. I will put the iPhone and Android links in the description. It can work with a chest strap, Apple Watch, Wear OS watches, and other devices that can broadcast heart rate over Bluetooth. Over the past few weeks, my Apple Watch estimate shows that my VO2 max has improved by a few points. That is exciting to me because VO2 max is not an easy number to improve. I also learned that Zone 2 can feel very sustainable. I can ride in Zone 2 for a long time, but once I add a few minutes in Zone 3, a minute in Zone 4, and even a few seconds in Zone 5, the effort adds up quickly. My original goal in buying an e-bike was to lose weight and improve my overall fitness. Zone training gives me a better way to measure that effort and stay honest with myself. I still have a lot to learn about zone training, but I feel like this is a valuable approach. For me, the e-bike is not just transportation or recreation, it's becoming a real fitness tool. Thank you for watching Adventure Tread. I'll see you on the map.